What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. In this episode I'm going to start stripping down the WRX engine. So what's up everyone, I'm just going to continue on from last week. Start stripping down this thing, get the clutch off, the intake, the exhaust. I've already gone ahead and gotten off the lower exhaust shield. I thought I was going to have to cut this thing off, but it ended up unbolting for the most part. One thing I had to grab with some vice grips, but so the manifold's pretty much ready to come off. Just those 14 mil nuts up here, and it will drop off. I'll take those mounts off and then start working on this clutch. So I was actually thinking of doing a time lapse for this video, but I've decided, well, I'm just going to continue on with the method that I've been doing with just kind of unbolting stuff and showing you what I find. The clutch is definitely worn out in this thing, so I want to have a good look at it. And I determined the turbo that was on here is definitely a replacement turbo. It's definitely newer than the original, so I would expect that the original turbo failed or wasn't making power anymore, and they put the pipe and the turbo on at the same time. And then I want to get to the timing belt just to, get a general idea of the maintenance on this thing. Kind of give me an idea of what might have happened with the rest of the car. Kind of unbolt some stuff to get some weight off of it, maybe rest it back down, maybe leave it slinging, and show you guys what I find. So as you can see, I've got the exhaust off, I've got the mounts off, I've gone ahead and taken the clutch off. The flywheel, I mean, it's got quite a few hot spots and some really small light heat cracking in it. I would like to replace it with something else. But as for this clutch, it's a exity clutch or a ZD clutch, however you like to pronounce it. Pressure plate and the disc. Pressure plate does have some signs of heat, but it's not torched. It hasn't been like abused. The same with the disc. The disc has quite a bit of wear to it, and as you can see, like, the material is really just filled in those rivets. But if I dig one out, I mean, that rivet's quite deep in there, and that's a usable disc, but the way the materials come apart on it, I would say the main problem is probably the master and slave in the car, and it's not actuating the clutch disc properly, it's leaving it on, and that's what's causing all the excessive wear. It's not actually abused, it's just not being disengaged properly. Both sides of it, and you can see the amount of material that's built up in here. I mean, it's just caked in here. It's all clutch and oil. So yeah, gonna need a full clutch set, that's for sure. So I've gone ahead and taken off the flywheel and discovered that the rear main is leaking a little bit. It's just a slow seep, but you can see the amount of clutch material that's built up in behind here. Now up here on the front, everything looks pretty decent, to be honest. The timing belt's definitely not very old. The markings are still quite fresh on it, but the back side of the belt does have some wear coming through. It's a Conti-Tech belt, so it wasn't done at the dealer anyway. And the water pump I may actually reuse because it's definitely been replaced. It's nice to see that they do have the belt guard on there. Most times they're just lost and not put back on. So I am going to turn this around until it all lines up. It's actually just off a little bit where it is. The marks are almost where they need to be. But I do need to put, I don't know, let me get some marks off here. I gotta get my holder tool on these once I get in place, and later on when I get the pulleys off. I'm not worried about these bolts. I've got a really sharp socket to go in there. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and peel off the belt, get off all these pulleys, and let you know if this thing was actually at timed right or not. So I just quickly went ahead, put the crank pulley back on, spun everything around, 2 rotations to get it all lined up. Crank is lined up. Bank 1 is lined up. Bank 2 is so far out that I can't believe this thing. I can't believe that someone got it together like this. Because I'm gonna go ahead and say that the belt has not jumped and that someone actually got this thing together quite a few teeth out. The things you find working on cars. So now that I've got the timing belt off, kind of got me wondering, like, you know, has the belt actually jumped from over revving or something like that? It's possible. There may be some damage. Just being those couple teeth out, I think it'll be fine though. Definitely hasn't spun around, and the thing ran pretty decent when I brought it in, other than making a whole bunch of noise. But I got the thing sitting back down, it's on the milk crate, and I've got all the electrical, all the hoses, everything's disconnected as far as I can tell. It's just going to be 8 intake bolts, 12mm, an extension, and this thing should lift off of here. Actually left it on the crane, just see if it'll actually and get this one guy to get rid of. I'll take him off quickly. I usually just lift them off by hand, but I figured while the crane was connected, just make it easy for myself. I got one hose that needs to go through here, kind of guide it through. And that should be it. One intake manifold. Okay, so we've gotten down to the long block. All the timing's off, the clutch is off, the intake's off, the exhaust is off, so it's really just the heads at this point. But before they do come off, I want to be able to pull the plugs. I'm going to do a leak down test to see where this thing was actually at. Give me a little better idea if I don't see anything coming apart, what might have happened. Really, we won't know until next week when, you know, I go about take the covers and the timing gears off. We'll take the cylinder heads off and have a good look at the valves after doing the leak down. So I hope everyone's enjoying this series. It seems like they are. I'm getting a lot of likes on the videos and a little bit more views than I was on a couple of my past videos. I know I'm having a lot more fun doing it, just taking my time, making it a little easier on myself, and getting a good plan in my head as I move forward. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.